Over the next two videos, we're going to build a custom picker component from scratch. In this video, we're only going to focus on the look and feel of this component. We'll talk about selecting an item in the next video. So let's add a new component called app picker.js. So once again, I'm using app as a prefix because at the time of recording this video, we already have a picker component in the React Native core. So even though it's removed from the documentation, it's not removed from the repository. So delete. Now this component should be very similar or identical in terms of the look and feel to our text input component. So to save time, I'm going to go to app text input, copy all the code here, and then paste it to our new file. Next, we need to rename this component to app picker. So we press F2 and type app picker. Now, we should remove this text input and replace it with a text component. So I'm going to render an app text. Once again, VS Code didn't import this, so let's import it on the top. It's a bit painful, I know. We import app text from the current folder. Okay. Now, what should we render here? We should render either the selected value or a placeholder. For now, we're just going to render a placeholder, and we're going to get this as a prop. So let's add a new prop, placeholder. Now let's test our implementation up to this point. So we're going to go to app.js and put a text input next to a picker to make sure they look identical. So save the changes. We go to app.js. Let's import app picker. I'm going to give it a placeholder, let's say category. Right after that, I'm going to add an app text input. Auto import didn't work, so let's import this manually. Okay. Let's set the placeholder to email. Okay. Here's what we get. They look pretty good to me. Let's give them an icon. So I'm going to set the icon of the app picker to apps and the icon of text input to email. They look pretty good. Now for this picker component, we need to add a chevron to the right side. So we should make the text component grow and take all the available free space. How do we do that? Using the flex property. So back to app picker. Let's copy these few lines to add a chevron icon. So we add that right after our text component. Now we're going to set the name to chevron down. We're going to use the same size and color, but here we don't need any styles because earlier we defined the style to apply a right margin over here. We don't need that margin for the chevron icon. So let's remove the style. Now we give our text component a style. We set it to styles.text. And this is where we set flex to 1. So text is an object with flex property set to 1. Take a look. This is what we get. Looks pretty good to me. In the next video, we're going to take this to the next level. So when we tap on this component, we see a modal box with a list of items to select from.